Compromising in the name of peace, Northern Ireland's main Protestant party takes an important step.
We've done our bit. And Mr. Adams, it's over to you. We've jumped, you follow.
Also, Russian missiles pound the Chechen capital of Grozny, adding to the growing human misery. And the numbers are in. Did the strong economy spur a jolly kickoff to the holiday shopping season? From CNN Center in Atlanta, this is WorldView. I'm Andrea Hall. Thanks for being with us. World leaders are praising a decisive vote by Northern Ireland's main Protestant party. The compromise plan clears the path of a major stumbling block, allowing for a joint Catholic-Protestant government. But as CNN's Nick Robertson explains, for Ulster Unionist leader David Trimble, it is a qualified victory.
It was to be the day David Trimble had hoped for. Support for his leadership and backing for his peace plans from his party.
Now this clears the stalemate that we've had in terms of the process. I must say that we've had an extremely good debate within the Council.
But the debate did not go all his way.
Shame on you, David. Twice, man. When are you going to tell the people the truth for a change? Liar! Liar!
On his way into the meeting, protesters accused him of failure by agreeing to form a government before paramilitary groups hand in any guns. And party delegates too voiced their concerns before the closed-door council session got underway.
Until such a time as the guns are surrendered, I am absolutely opposed to it.
However, almost 60% of those attending voted in favour of Trimble, enough for his supporters to call it a victory.
I'm never disappointed with making progress. How could I be? For 30 years we've gone backwards. We've made progress today.
But the progress is qualified. Trimble has offered to resign early next year if the IRA does not hand in weapons. And he urged the leader of the IRA's political wing, Sinn Féin, to ensure their recent commitments for disarming are honoured.
We've done our bit. And Mr. Adams, it's over to you. We've jumped, you follow.
In the meantime, Northern Ireland's new power-sharing government is expected to meet, and by week's end is expected to have administrative powers. But while David Trimble is reaping the political rewards of having his leadership endorsed by his party and of bringing them closer to peace, it is perhaps now the people of Northern Ireland who stand to benefit the most. The peace plan that is now cleared for implementation already has widespread support, and many see it as the best chance yet to realise it.
It's an opportunity at this stage to give it a go, and perhaps it can barter a deal for our future.
Well, I think we can get on now and work towards peace.
While all here know problems lie ahead, not least of which will be getting weapons handed in, all recognise the move as one of the biggest political steps forward for a long time. Nick Robertson, CNN, Belfast, Northern Ireland.
While the Northern Ireland Compromise is being hailed as a breakthrough, major steps remain in the peace process. On Monday, Ulster Unionists will nominate candidates for a new cabinet. Thursday, the IRA will appoint a representative to meet with the commission set up to monitor the disarmament process. Also on Thursday, the British Parliament will devolve or pass on power to the new government of Northern Ireland. Getting through these next steps will call for a bit more choreography on Trimble's part. Susan Garrity is the Washington correspondent for the Irish Independent, and she's been watching the events unfold in Northern Ireland for the past 4 years and joins us now with some insights. Thank you for being on WorldView.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
Many people view this as an act of faith. The question is, how realistic is it when you base agreements on faith rather than fact?
Well, I think that's what both parties have had to do for quite some time since the Good Friday Accord was put together 18 months ago under the tutelage of George Mitchell. I think what Mitchell did during the course of his review over the last 11 weeks was really to teach, to prod both the Republicans, the nationalists, and the unionists into believing that they can take this step forward. I think that the unbelievably unbelievably new concept for the IRA to be willing to put forward a candidate to help with the decommissioning process, which will take place on Thursday, truly has set the stage for a brand new peace and a new world for the people who live in Northern Ireland.
The agenda being very ambitious. You talked about Thursday being a key date. The two parties involved here could come together as early as next week to actually share power. But the question is, how will life be different for the people of Ireland?
Well, you'll have a situation where it's no longer going to be dictated by London. You're going to have people that have been without a government that emanated from their vote for decades now in control. And that will mean things like if a hospital is being run, they're going to have to get their funds, they're going to be governed by people from both the nationalist, Catholic, and the Unionist Protestant community. And working together, in many ways, they will no longer have the time to have the enmity and to continue the violence, because they'll be working together in government and will have to be focusing on production. Tip O'Neill put it so beautifully that all politics are local. Well, that's what is taking place in Northern Ireland now. David Trimble had to bring along his members in a slow yet steady and incremental process, and now the same will hold true for the nationalists from Sinn Féin, because it will no longer be a peace process, it will be a political process that involves both sides.
Susan, not everybody is on board with this. We saw evidence in our story of people who clearly were not happy with this agreement. If there are splinter groups out there, how much hope should there be realistically, and what about the element of fear?
Well, the beauty of the assembly that they have put together is something that's called the D'Hondt system, which allows for power sharing not just with the majority, but apportions an amount of power to all sides, so that in order to get anything accomplished within the new Northern Ireland Assembly, you will have to get a majority both from the Unionist side and the Nationalist side. And that will allow them to focus on progress that benefits the people, not just the political process.
Susan Garrity, one step at a time, I suppose, from the Irish Independent. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Andrew.
Russian troops are closing in on the Chechen capital amid reports that rebel fighters have launched a counter-offensive. The Associated Press is reporting Chechen rebels have taken control of a small town just east of Grozny. The attack comes as Russian forces intensify their assault on a city torn apart by the conflict. CNN's Matthew Chance has the very latest.
Chechen fighters in the cellars of Grozny praying for victory in a bitter war. Thousands are reported to have dug in, impatient, they say, for a final Russian assault. We will welcome them. We're waiting, says this fighter. For them, there will be a dog's death. The only good Russian is a dead one, says his comrade. We're sitting and waiting for them with our knives, but we haven't seen a Russian soldier yet. Above ground, Chechen civilians, even children, are still living in the ruins of a war zone. In recent days, the Russians have been stepping up their assault on Grozny. Russian commanders say they're pounding rebel positions from afar with artillery and a relentless wave of airstrikes. But they say there are no plans for a ground assault and the city must surrender or endure an intensive Russian bombardment.
The civilians will be much more vulnerable than the fighters, because the civilians are, well, they're kids, they're women, they're old people. They don't move as quickly as fighters and don't know how to hide from firepower as effectively as the fighters. So this is attack specifically aimed at the civilian population to terrify it. It's not to destroy the fighters. You can't destroy the fighters with such weapons.
But lives can be destroyed. Chechen hospitals in Grozny and elsewhere are filled with women and children injured in a conflict both sides say has already killed more than 4,000 people. But in Moscow, the human cost appears one Kremlin officials are prepared to pay. Their Chechen war enjoys wide public support across much of Russia, and their own opinion polls say the Russian people want more strong military action. Matthew Chance, CNN, Moscow.
At least 41 people are reported dead after 2 days of violence between Christians and Muslims in Indonesia. The latest fighting erupted in the eastern city of Ambon. Rioters armed with homemade rifles and spears clashed with police and set fire to houses in a Christian neighborhood. More than 1,000 people have died in religious clashes in the region this year. Next week's global trade talks are expected to bring protests in several cities as the World Trade Organization prepares to meet in Seattle, Washington to promote free trade. Protesters in Geneva, Switzerland are calling for protection of European farm subsidies. The European Union insists the subsidies are needed to preserve rural communities and jobs. In Paris, demonstrators there want the trade talks to focus on people before profits. Many fear that free trade will lead to exploitation of the environment and less respect for human rights. In the U.S., the Federal Trade Commission is expected to recommend approval of a merger between the nation's largest and second largest oil producers. Exxon is seeking approval to buy Mobil for $81 billion. The deal includes the sale of some 2,400 gas stations nationwide. The merger would create one of the world's largest oil companies. Some states say the consolidation will hurt consumers. The first of the holiday shopping numbers are in. We'll have that next. Also, shopping for gifts online will serve some of the best sites. And victory means change in New Zealand. The story just ahead on WorldView.
Do you know what your money is doing right now? What if you could put it to work? Start by saving money on internet access and investing it with JB Oxford. We're the only discount brokerage that gives you free internet access. Don't pay hundreds for the internet. Call 1-800-JB-OXFORD. Please, put your money to work.
I would begin my presidency with a commitment to less government, less taxes, and more freedom. And I have a plan to make it happen. Let's start with a new tax system. Put the federal government on a diet with spending caps. Give you a real tax cut. In Social Security, you should decide how you invest your money. You should choose your own doctor. You should choose your own school for your children. Proposing to expand the role of government is neither compassionate nor conservative. It's just plain more government.
What if you could treat wrinkles like an expert would? With Rock, the #1 anti-wrinkle cream in France, you can. Developed with dermatologists, Rock's pure and active form of vitamin A works deeper, inside skin surface. In a 12-week study, the appearance of fine lines was reduced by 86%, wrinkles by 42%. Something more superficial beauty treatments could never promise. Rock, we keep our promises.
Tonight, on the Emmy Award-winning Larry King Weekend, Larry will talk to one of today's biggest actors, Arnold Schwarzenegger, plus Bob Costas, Senator Robert Torricelli, and more. Tonight, 9 Eastern, on CNN.
Across the United States, people are using their Thanksgiving weekend to do a little holiday shopping. With the economy booming, analysts are forecasting a good season for U.S. retailers, and early figures suggest they're right. According to the Tel-Check Retail Index, sales on the first day after Thanksgiving were up 6.4% compared to the same day last year. The Tel-Check Index is based on a comparison of checks written by consumers at about 27,000 stores across the nation. U.S. President Bill Clinton will be joining the millions of Americans expected to click onto the internet to do their shopping this holiday season. Mr. Clinton touted the benefits of e-shopping in his weekly radio address, but also warned consumers to shop safely, suggesting they should always buy with a credit card and guard their privacy at all times. So how easy is it to shop in all these virtual stores? CNN's Greg Lefebvre takes a look.
This holiday, retailers are wising to the web. We can shop wherever we want, cruise the store aisles, flip the catalog pages, and surf the shopping sites.
You can order anything from the catalog, buy it from any store, buy it online.
With the explosion of online shopping sites, Consumer Reports rated 24, but found only half were easy to use.
We're going to see a wide range of choice for consumers, and the ability of consumers to direct their own search through the site so that it's easy to navigate, easy to find your way around.
Their favorites included Crate & Barrel, J. Crew, and Land's End. Website designers say the practicality of online shopping is obvious.
I can't send you a 500-page catalog in the mail. It's not very cost-effective, and you're probably not going to read all of it.
Coming next, a shopping CD-ROM, like this CD-ROM from perfume seller Sephora.com.
This could be a circular initially on here. It could be a mini catalog, if you would.
What if I don't like what I bought online?
We're happy to take the return here at the store.
But industry figures show returns are low, in part because the flood of information on the web helps educate buyers before they purchase.
I can compare one brand versus another, look at all the features associated with it.
Some companies combine features of live and online shopping.
Thank you for calling Lands End Internet. This is Julie. How may I help you?
You can also pick up the phone and talk to a shopper at Land's End who will take you to the places on the website that have the merchandise you're looking for.
One of winter's small pleasures is sitting by the fire, browsing the holiday catalogs on our lap. Could we soon be browsing with our laptops? Greg Lefebvre, CNN, Pacifica, California.
For more on e-shopping and the latest in computer technology, you can check out CNN's new technology program, CNN.com, airing Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern and Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and it is produced in conjunction with IDG. Coming up, a multi-million-dollar settlement for a murder victim's widow, and an update on the search for people lost in a ferry accident off the coast of Norway.
Dot Commentary is brought to you by Sun Microsystems. We're the Dot in .com.
Unleash power, sell more per hour, get business going, keep it growing, change ammunition, kill competition, unlock data, make profits fatter, take sharper aim, boost market gain, save more time, more peace of mind, forge better ties, economize, link devices without a crisis. Our technology is hot, we are the Dot.
Tylenol House Call. Information for healthy living.
It's like a drum.
Like a hammer. I snap at everybody.
My kids know to stay away.
It's one of our most common medical conditions, a headache. What triggers a headache? Too much caffeine, too little sleep, stress or anger, even changes in the weather. The next time you get a headache, here's some simple things that might help. Try applying heat or cold to the area, massaging the neck to relax the muscles, or simply taking a walk or nap. If you're one of the millions of people who rely on over-the-counter medicines, you should know that the pain reliever doctors recommend most is Tylenol. In fact, physicians recommend Tylenol more than all other brands combined.
When my headache goes away, I'm me again.
By the way, keeping a headache diary can help you determine if food, weather, or mood contributes to your headache pattern. For more information about headaches, visit Tylenol.com.
Tylenol House Call is brought to you by Extra Strength Tylenol.
I'm Linda Ellerby, and I'm watching you, CNN.
Elections in New Zealand have brought about the end of nearly a decade of conservative rule. Labour leader Helen Clark is set to become the country's first elected female prime minister. Clark campaigned on the pledge, raise taxes on the rich to provide more money for social services. Outgoing National Party Prime Minister Jenny Shipley came to power in a caucus coup 2 years ago. Clark is pledging to have a replacement coalition assembled by Christmas.
The result tonight clearly indicates that New Zealanders want a change of direction. We're on the cusp of a new century and we can have a fresh start. And I stand before you humbled that our party has again been chosen to lead a fresh start for New Zealand.
Saturday's vote also elected New Zealand's first transsexual into Parliament. Georgina Beyer, formerly George Bertrand, defeated the opponent by more than 2,000 votes. In other top stories in our WorldView Minute, Croatia's parliamentary speaker is calling for new elections in January. He was appointed acting president Friday after the Constitutional Court ruled President Franjo Tuđman unfit to govern. Mr. Tuđman is gravely ill. He's headed the government since Croatia's independence from Yugoslavia in 1991. China's second highest ranking official met with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat Saturday. Palestinian officials are seeking international support in talks with Israel, which they say have become bogged down. The Chinese official pledged continued support for the Palestinians' cause. He is scheduled to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak Sunday. The U.S. Coast Guard is searching for 3 Cubans missing and presumed drowned off the coast of Florida. They were among 13 aboard a boat that sank Tuesday. 7 have been found dead. A 5-year-old boy who survived has been released from a Florida hospital. Border officials say he and the 2 other survivors will be allowed to stay in the United States. Norwegian rescuers are giving up hope of finding any more survivors there after Friday's ferry accident. Of the 89 people aboard, 9 are still missing and now are presumed dead, bringing the death toll to 20. Eric McInnes has more.
This is the catamaran ferry that sank. It was a modern, state-of-the-art vessel, and yet it ran aground in familiar waters. Passengers had to jump into the icy seas when the ship broke in half and sank. One witness on a rescue ship said conditions hampered efforts to save lives.
We didn't have great lighting, so it was very difficult to pinpoint where the people were, and obviously everybody's confused and panicking. They see a light here, they see a light there, but they had rescue helicopters pulling people out of the sea.
Of the 80 passengers and 9 crew, all but 20 are safe and accounted for. Those survivors most badly injured are being treated for hypothermia. Flags flew at half-mast in towns along the Norwegian coastline. There's bewilderment that such a tragedy could have occurred to a ship only 3 months into its service. The weather may have been a factor. One rescuer said they were faced by a scene from hell. Eric McInnes, ITN.
Chemical fortunaire John DuPont will pay $35 million to the widow of the man he killed. The Philadelphia Inquirer reports the widow of Olympic wrestler David Schultz has settled a civil lawsuit against DuPont. A jury convicted DuPont of third-degree murder for shooting and killing Schultz back in 1996. DuPont was determined to be mentally ill and is serving a 13 to 30-year sentence. We'll check the weather forecast next. Also, a facelift for an important and ancient church. That story just ahead on WorldView.
Imagine the most majestic landscapes, and then imagine completing them. Presenting the Fairmont Collection, grand hotels inspired by the grandeur of their surroundings. The Fairmont Collection, extraordinary hotels in extraordinary places.
We don't need a financial babysitter.
We're declaring our independence.
We're realistic but hopeful. We'll find our own way.
We work harder for ourselves than anyone else will. We're pioneers.
$7.95 stock trades, low margin interest rates, comprehensive research. SureTrade.com, a smart tool for smart investors.
This is your new business. And this is your new car. The new Volvo V40. Now get back back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
We've always captured your imagination.
Holy Toledo.
Now we're doing it online.
Holy Toledo.
Now there's Sears.com. 2,000 appliances. The top 6 brands. Guaranteed low prices. And right now, your chance to win a Kenmore Elite Dream Kitchen. Holy Toledo. Sears.com.
In the United States, Sunday is a big travel day for people returning home from the Thanksgiving holiday. Chad Myers is in the CNN Weather Center with the forecast for coming home.
Andrea, I don't think it can get any better than this. Compared to what we had on Wednesday with rain, fog, and ugliness up and down the East Coast, tomorrow will be great. As nice as today. The sun's out in many areas. A couple of rain showers in Nebraska, also through the upstate part of New York. Otherwise, more rain showers in Washington and Oregon. But for the most part, today is an awfully nice day. Sunny and mild across the south again tomorrow afternoon into Monday. A couple of snow showers rolling through the lakes by Monday morning, and windy conditions rolling in there. But for much of the day tomorrow, absolute sunshine. In about 90% of the country, we'll see sunshine tomorrow. Lows tonight, 30s all the way up the East Coast, 40s and 50s down to the south. This cold air is forcing itself all the way down into Mexico with highs in the 40s and lows tonight in the 30s down there. So some cool temperatures. But then by tomorrow afternoon, the sun comes out and things warm all the way back up again. 30s and 40s across the north, 60s and 70s down to the south, and 50s and 60s across much of the Carolinas. Temperatures across all of the south, though, and most of the east by Monday afternoon into Tuesday will be significantly different from what you see here. A significant cold front will be running through the northern sections of the lakes and bringing snow showers, lake effect snow showers, to much of the lakes on Monday afternoon into Tuesday. Here's how it happens. The jet stream is changing. It's going up in the west and down in the east, and these 20s and 30s rolling on down to the south. Snow showers again on Tuesday. These are high temperatures for Tuesday. 30s all the way as far south as North Carolina. So get ready for some cooler weather, I guess, and always mall shopping this weekend. The weather couldn't be more perfect. Andrea? Hot chocolate, hot apple cider, it's working for me. Thanks, Chad. The home of many a Renaissance masterpiece is on the restoration trail. 2 years ago, a series of earthquakes shook St. Francis's Basilica to its very foundation, knocking down plaster and many of its often admired frescoes. 4 people inside the Italian monastery died. Restoration experts have been rushing to get the ancient architectural abbey ready for the new millennium. The Franciscan monks plan to reopen its doors Sunday. Many of the walls are still blank, but cleaning the damaged artwork is revealing new colors not seen in centuries. I'm Andrea Hall. For our viewers in North America, Reliable Sources is coming up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wiles of communications.
On the next millennium, the 18th century, the age of enlightenment and new ideas spark revolution as democracy is born in America, and in France, a monarchy ends. In India, British conquest meets fierce resistance, while a prosperous China opens doors to the West. 1,000 years of history in the landmark series Millennium. Sunday, 10 Eastern on CNN.
Sunday on CNN's late edition, potential presidential candidate Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton advisor Harold Ickes. Sunday, noon Eastern on CNN.
Still thinking about buying a satellite dish? Okay, this side you go with the dish. This side you go with iDig, Intermedia's digital cable service. So, which gives you up to 200 channels of sports, movies, even CD quality music, plus all your local channels for news, weather, and sports, 24-hour local customer service, no equipment to buy, and no long-term contract. Still thinking of buying a dish? Check us out. iDig, Intermedia's digital service.
Make it a Christmas to remember at Smith & Rogers, Middle Tennessee's premier place for flowers for over 10 years. As you and your loved ones prepare for the holiday season, what better way to show you care than with an arrangement prepared by our trained professional designers? You'll find the perfect idea for all occasions. Visit any of our 2 convenient locations for holiday decorations. Smith & Rogers, 701 Craighead and 2 Mile Parkway in the Rivergate area. We help create Christmas memories that last a lifetime.
CNN Today with Lou Waters and Natalie Allen. Weekdays on CNN.